Okay, Dan, you're ready.
All right, let me call the meeting of the Inland and Wetlands Commission of Monday, February 28th to order. Will the secretary take the roll, please?
Of course, Mr. Stepanek.
Here.
Mr. Stepanek,
Here.
Angela Jameson here, Peggy Kirby,
Absent.
George Perkins,
Absent.
Beth Brunali,
Absent.
Anthony Sillo,
Absent.
Penny Ross,
Here.
Beth Brunali.
Absent.
I'm sorry,
All right.
Beth Sanford, I beg your pardon, Beth.
I'm here.
Good, and Priscilla Woike.
Absent. So Penny Ross, would you substitute for Peggy Kirby?
Yes.
And
Yes.
Beth, would you substitute for George Perkins, please? You all have a copy of the agenda. Are there any comments, questions, deletions? If not, can I have a motion to approve?
I move to approve the
And-
agenda.
Angela's going to forecast it. Anyone in the second? Beth, can I get you to second it?
Sure.
All right, good. All right, tonight, number 4, the organizational meeting. Joining us tonight is First Selectman Kevin Monahan. And he's here to initiate and oversee the election of 2 officers for the Wetlands Commission. Kevin, would you start the process by requesting a nominations for the office of chairman?
Sure,
Can you
Dan,
do
thank
that?
you. Okay.
Okay.
I would call for nominations for chairman for the ensuing year. Angela,
I would like to nominate Dan Stepanek as chair.
do I have a second?
Second.
Any seconds?
Second.
I heard that, right, any seconds, and any further nominations? Hearing none, all in favor of electing Dan to another term as chairman?
Aye.
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 Taking hands, okay. So we have 4 out of, you have your quorum. So that's unanimous for those attending. And then I would take nominations for secretary.
I would like to nominate Angela Jameson for the office of secretary, Kevin.
Second.
Penny seconds, okay. Further nominations? Hearing none, all in favor of Angela for another term as secretary?
Aye. Aye.
That's unanimous. Okay, and I want to thank you all for your service to the town, and thank you, Dan, for continuing to chair. This is an exciting commission that I don't often have the time to join, but I know you do good work. And Kathleen, thank you for your continued hard work. And so I wish you well with your meeting and your rest of your year. Happy to
Thank
join.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you
Thanks,
very much.
Kevin.
Thank you. I'll stay around for a couple minutes.
All right, thank you. All righty. Number 5, approval of the minutes of the regular meeting of January 24th. Anyone have any comments or deletions? If not, can I hear a second? Or an approval?
So moved.
All right, I'll second it. All those in favor, raise your hands. All right,
Aye.
good. Open the regular meeting. Applications to be received and if complete, scheduled for the regular meeting of March 21st. There's application number 212228, 1018 Wheat Street. And there's also application number 212229, 320 North Wilton Road. And they will be heard on March 21st. Number 9, scheduled site visit and we have down here on the agenda, March 2nd, which is on Wednesday of this week. But that, like, we can't get it done by the 2nd. So we changed that to March 4th, Friday, March 4th, this coming Friday. Would anyone want to comment? Can you all make it?
Yes. I can make it.
Angela?
I can make it, provided it's pretty early.
Is 7:30 early enough for you?
Sure.
Okay.
Dan, I'll have to check with the members that are absent tonight so we can see about getting a quorum for March 4th, because I know you'll be traveling and not able to make that site visit. The other thing I wanted to say, I know there's a couple of folks on the call tonight that may be interested in the 2 applications that are being received tonight. I just wanted to explain the process. There's no presentation on those applications this evening. Those 2 applications are being received by the commission. A site visit is going to be scheduled likely for March 4th. An agenda would be sent to the commission members and posted at town hall. The presentation for both of those applications will be taking place on March 21st. So follow along in the process if you're interested in hearing or reviewing those applications. You can also take a look at the applications. They're posted online on the Inland Wetlands website, and there's a link actually in the agenda to those applications if you wanted to review them. I'm just not able to identify one of the callers, so I'm assuming it could be one of the applicants that is going to be presenting next month. So March 4th, tentatively, I guess we could say March 4th, 7:30. I will reach out to the other commission members that are here tonight, see if I can get a quorum for Friday, and get back to everyone pretty quickly to organize that for right now, March 4th, 7:30 a.m.
Can you also, when you talk to these people, find out where they were tonight? If they said they're coming, why, what happened?
You can do that.
I'll do that. All right.
I'm happy
I'll
to do that. I'm happy to do
I'll
that.
do that.
I'll do it. I'll do it.
No, I'll do it. No, let me.
No, I'm teasing. I will. I'm kind of curious. It could be that our meeting is one off from a week. I mean, our schedule, we didn't meet on our usual Monday night, the 21st. However, obviously the agenda went out to everyone and everyone could see it was the 28th. And I did have a confirmation for 1 or 2 that said they would be here tonight. So not sure what happened at our light attendance this evening, but I'm glad for the 4 of you on the call. So.
I mean, I just wonder if it wouldn't be a good idea if everyone has to, affirm one way or the other whether they're going to be there or not. Because if you've done that, you kind of feel more committed. It's more likely to, remain in your memory.
I can change my wording on that. I don't want to add extra work to the staff by making calls to 8 people. I'm happy to do that if the chairman would like me to do that and make sure that we have a quorum every month, because it is important if we're setting up the meeting and we've got applicants ready to present. So, and we have the fire marshal on the call with us tonight, ready to do a presentation. So I'm taking up his time as well to discuss.
Take care of your business, Kathleen. I'm not going anywhere.
Okay. Thanks, Paul.
I don't hear any fire alarms. Okay.
Good.
Well,
Let's hope not.
All right. Now, did you want to discuss anything with the administrative reports tonight, Kathleen?
No, it doesn't look very active this month, but trust me, it's very active right now. We have a tremendous amount of applications coming in to the department. They are all in different stages of review and getting to the goal of being approved at some point. But these 2 made it through so that I could at least put them on the agenda and report to you these two particular locations. So there's still a decent amount of activity going on. We expect spring to be incredibly busy. Nothing really in particular. That's about it for those 2 applications. Just letting you know that it did issue administrative reviews for those 2 locations.
All right. Thank you. Number 12, review. You have all likely read or heard about the recent oil contamination problem discovered in the Bristol Bird Sanctuary. Tonight, we want to review and update you on this serious issue and how it got started and how it was handled. Presenting tonight is Paul Payne, New Canaan's Fire Marshal, and our own Kathleen Holland. Both were closely involved in the situation and helped bring the incident to a satisfactory conclusion. So who would like to start?
I'd be
Kathleen?
happy to start.
Okay.
I'd be happy to start if I
All
could
right,
just
Paul,
take a
go.
minute. So just to take a minute to update you on the oil release that affected Bristol Sanctuary. The source was discovered at a residence on Douglas Road. It was a 275-gallon above ground oil tank located at the rear of the house. DEP was notified and had taken over the investigation and the remediation. To date, approximately over 100 tons of contaminated material has been removed. And it's estimated that approximately 250 gallons of fuel oil discharged from the residence on Douglas Road. Bristol was affected by a combination of approximately 1,600 feet of underground water course and storm drains. Absorbent booms have been placed in basins on Douglas Road, Orchard, Park Place, Old Stamford Road, and an additional 3 absorbent booms located in Bristol Sanctuary. I'm very pleased with the response from DEP, and I've been continuing to monitor and keeping all parties posted. I received a text tonight, a couple of hours ago, from Peter Roche. He is the DEP gentleman that has been assigned with the investigation and the cleanup. So currently they have removed all the contaminated material that they can remove. They began backfilling the site on Douglas Road. That should be completed on Wednesday. There is currently 1 monitoring well being placed on the property with the possibility of a second one. I don't have a definitive answer on that yet. The booms in the catch basins will be removed probably on Wednesday. He said they were going to remove the booms at Bristol also. I was going to ask him tomorrow if he could leave remaining booms in the Bristol Sanctuary. Now, I visited both sites today, both Douglas Road. They're beginning the backfill. And I also visited Bristol Sanctuary, and I was quite pleased. The booms are only containing what looks to be old, congealed, very little oil. It no longer smells. But I think my opinion, it might be a good idea to keep booms in place on the head wall, at least on the south side of Old Stamford Road, and possibly a couple in the Bristol Creek before the pond. So that's it to date. If there are any questions I can answer, I'm happy to do so.
Paul, I just want to back up, and I know we actually had some pretty good news coverage on this. So most of you, as Dan said, you may have read about this incident. The one thing, how it came to our attention, this actually was, Chris Shipper was at Bristow filling bird feeders, and he smelled oil. That's how we became known about it. He emailed, us at town hall, and eventually that email got to me, and Paul and I, jumped into action. And this type of oil contamination, in my 32 years, I've never seen anything quite like this. It's an extremely unfortunate incident. It's extremely upsetting to the homeowners who is having to deal with this and cooperatively dealing with this. It was quite an effort from February 4th to present, to with DEP takes the lead on this type of case, so it is not, we don't have a local authority. Paul and I were just assisting the folks from DEP. 2 inspectors were there within hours. It was really quite an amazing response. The most frustrating part for us probably, actually it was trying to locate the spill. At least for our staff, Paul and myself, and folks from the Department of Public Works, we have the boots on the ground. We know where the drains are. Hopefully we know who the homeowners are. We know who's hooked to oil or gas or whatever it might be. So through a process of elimination, at long last, it ended up being the DEP inspector actually located the source on February 9th. And prior to that, there was some mitigation strategies put in place to try to contain the oil. I know Paul was down repeatedly taking photographs and sending them to DEP, especially when we saw some what looks like a fresh release, kind of got our attention that this was not an individual incident. It was somebody was having a problem who perhaps was not even aware they were having a problem. And that ended up being the case. If you can imagine, the sheen of oil was located in the Douglas Road and Orchard Road area. It's piped pretty much from that location all the way to it opens up into Bristol on the other side of the road. That's, I believe Paul already said, it's 1,300 feet away. The actual source of the location was 325 feet from where we first saw the sheen into the water course, where we could actually see it. Unfortunately, the location where the spill was coming from, it was an older tank that was exterior above ground. It had some housing around it, which sort of disguised the fact that it even had a leak. That it was very unable to be detected until the problem was found by the DEP inspector. As Paul said, the response from DEP has been terrific. The environmental teams that went in there and started the initial cleanup did a terrific job to date, with obviously all the contaminated material being removed and mitigation strategies along the water course. And at this point, we are in watching and putting in the clean fill, as Paul said, and they'll do some monitoring wells at the location, and they vacuum out any remnant oil that's going to be still kind of filtering through the system. Bristol, I was out on Friday and I was pleasantly pleased with, no odor, almost no sheen, little to no, is almost nearly impossible to detect. So all in all, Dan had just asked me to, sort of update the commission on what took place and kind of impress upon, I think, folks that do have tanks, that they should be monitoring their tanks. They should be having them professionally evaluated at least annually to see if they're functioning properly, especially if you have oil. And kind of get the word out that don't let this happen to you, because it's an extremely expensive and costly undertaking for anyone who has to go through this process. It's quite upsetting for all parties involved. So I just want to say thanks to Paul. He was a great teammate in helping get this one resolved, and also Public Works. Any call we made, we actually at one point, because we couldn't find the spill, we hired a operation called One Vac, and they put a remote camera down, I don't know, 600 feet of pipe to try to see where potentially the oil spill was coming in. So we used every resource we had available, and thank goodness we're at the point where it's been mitigated and the cleanup is well underway. So we're pleased with that.
Do you have any idea of how many gallons of fuel oil leaked out?
Approximately somewhere in the neighborhood of 250 gallons.
So that's about the size of one fuel oil tank, right? Yeah.
Pretty much one tank, yeah.
I
Do we
just
have
have
any
a
I'm
comment.
sorry.
I
Carry
have a
on.
comment.
Oh, go ahead.
Me?
Well, Angela's first. She had her
Okay.
hand up. We're coming back to you.
So how long do we think this was going on before it was detected? Because that's a lot of oil. And I'm also amazed at the distance that it, traveled. Because I just looking at a map, and Douglas Road is, as you said, quite a long way from Bristow Sanctuary.
So the guesstimate on the timing is most likely sometime in December. The homeowner, it's really a guess at this point that's when potentially the problem occurred, and then mostly due to cold temperatures and the condition of the tank. The reason that the method in which it got into the watercourse eventually, the above ground exterior tank was located off the rear of the house outside, as I said, with the housing around it. However, the housing was removed by the time we got there, and the leak was detected. The oil traveled down the foundation wall and under the garage slab, through porous conditions, and eventually actually crossed the street all underground, undetected, and most likely traveled along the exterior of a stormwater pipe that then leads eventually into the open watercourse, again, 325 feet away. So yeah, this was a very unusual instance. Most oil tank issues, and Paul can speak to this, they are usually an exterior underground tank, and those are kind of abated pretty readily, and pretty much stay contained in that, hopefully, that person's property, should they have to have a tank that fails. This was an unfortunate, unusual instance that caused the problem. So it is quite a long way. And Angela, the pipe from Douglas Road to Bristow is largely piped. I'm sorry, the water course. So it's been piped. So it wasn't really visible to anyone.
Yeah.
Until it got into Bristow, unfortunately. And thank goodness Chris Shipper sent an email and made us aware of it.
And when Chris Shipper called it in on the 4th, it was a sheen of oil. So it was discoloration on the water surface. And I don't think that raised too many alarms with DEP. Now on the 9th, I took a photograph. I went early in the morning, and we actually had product. We had pink oil that was being caught behind the booms. And that was the difference of whatever that was, 4 or 5 days. I sent those photographs to DEP, and they were there almost instantly. They realized that this wasn't a one-off. This was a discharge. And at that point, they started going door to door and identified the leak right around noon on the 9th.
Penny?
Yeah, my comment is simply a comment. Kudos to Chris Shipper, because as Beth knows, Beth, you're on the land trust now, right? Yeah. Well,
Yes,
when I was on the land trust, Chris was chair of that. I believe he's now chair of the Conservation Commission. Chris is out in the field regularly, and he fills those bird feeders at Bristow, and he does a lot of other things. So, and he's involved, and he's also very observant. So, who knows how long this could have gone on without Chris Shipper in there in the middle of the winter. So nobody else was in there, I don't think, that day. So, I hope he gets all credit. Well, I know he gets all credit for it. So, we're glad we have Chris Shipper.
Yeah. And I don't know if you recall February 4th, but that was on one of those icy rainstorms, and Town Hall had everyone was starting to close down. And then this call came in. Obviously, Paul and I did not go home. We went right to the site and tried to troubleshoot it. So it was unusual, difficult conditions to be working in. And I realize I now need to get cleats for my work boots so that I don't fall down.
I've got some.
Yeah, I'm buying some for sure. But
let me ask you, What leaked? What leaked? Was it the tank itself, or was it a socket, or
It
what
was,
was leaking?
it was the tanks, sir. A weld on the bottom of the tank seemed to let go.
Oh, wow.
Hmm. As a homeowner, I think it'd be great if you could write a letter to the editor and just say what other homeowners should do, because I always thought the real issue was underground oil tanks.
I
And
will put together an article for March.
yeah, but to
That's a good
know,
idea. Yeah.
we have ours checked annually, but I mean, they just might have been unlucky. Maybe they were doing that too. So
I know the Conservation Commission, Paul and I did a report the other week to the Conservation Commission as well. And I know they're going to be putting together a follow-up story article. They're drafting something. We'll preview it for them. And I think that the more education we can get out there to folks so that we don't have this type of it. And it doesn't happen to someone else here in town, because it is extremely costly and not to mention quite an impact on the environment.
Can I
So-
just ask
Yeah.
who foots the bill for all the work, remediation work that has to take place?
The property owner.
Property owner. Oh my goodness.
Can I ask one more question?
Sure.
So was this tank above ground outside the house?
Correct.
Because I once, when I lived in Ridgefield, I had an outside tank, and the leads going, into the house froze in a very cold winter. So I just thought that was sort of unusual these days. If you can get it inside, I think that probably is preferable.
His home then was a crawl space, and there wasn't any room for an indoor tank
Mm.
unless you put it on the main level.
Yeah, it's fairly unusual to have an exterior tank. And it's only out of necessity on this particular one. There is gas available in the street. So, long term, they get hooked up to gas, or the oil issue goes away. Obviously, they switched out the tank. They have a brand new tank that's, not leaking and causing an issue, but long-term solution is to switch your fuel source at that particular location.
Did you have anything, Angela? Yeah, anything more?
No, sorry, I just had my
Okay,
hand at my
okay.
face. Yeah.
Just think of a football field's 300 feet and plus. I mean, and this was 325. How long of a leak that really was? That's incredible.
Yeah, about 1,600 feet in total.
Yeah, once it hit the water course, that's 1,600 feet to get to Bristol. So, yeah.
Well, it's even more than 325 feet. Yeah.
Right. But
Is it
to where it was noticed, yeah, it was close to 2,000.
in terms of environmental damage, are we lucky that it's in February and not in May?
Well,
terms of-
that's a good point, Beth. There's some benefit because the oil actually became emulsified, so it froze. So they were able to. They actually sent trucks in. Their environmental team actually vacuumed multiple locations through some absorbent pads and also through a actual truck that takes the contamination out. So that was a little bit better. And then just from a critter point of view, what's happening in May versus what's happening in February, different things are happening in the watercourse. So that is a good thing that if it had to happen, this is the time that maybe there's not a lot of breeding and activity going on in the watercourse, and hopefully all of the amphibians are kind of under the mud and protected. So I guess you could look at it from that point of view.
Well, I guess you could say this is our version of the Exxon Valdez incident in Alaska, whenever that was.
That was a long time ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, wow. Anything else? That was a good presentation. I like that. Yeah, that was good.
Thank you so much, Paul and Kathleen.
Yes,
Very
that was
welcome.
very nice. Yeah.
Thank you.
Paul, are you new? Are you new in town? Are you new in town?
I'm the new Fred.
You're in
I
the
don't know
new,
if you know
the
Fred,
new,
but,
okay,
so
okay.
I was a building inspector in town for 15 years.
Okay.
And once Fred retired, I took over as fire marshal.
He's extremely happy and does a terrific job, as you can tell.
Good.
Very
Thank you,
knowledgeable.
Justin.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm very, very pleased to be working with Paul in his new role. So
That's good. All right, anything else about that? If not, we'll move on. Save the date, Zoom presentation, all about New Canaan's watersheds. And that is going to be given on March 31st, right? And who's doing that?
well, I just wanted to sort of give a shout out about this particular activity. It's kind of very timely considering what just happened at Bristol and watersheds. And Beth, feel free to chime in on this as well, because I know you're also involved in the planning and creation and sponsoring this particular activity. So Sustainable CT is the state group. Then we have Sustainable New Canaan. So Sustainable New Canaan is a group of people that were appointed by the first selectman, and then some staff members were also asked to join in and try to facilitate different things occurring in the way of either environmental efforts or economic efforts, social injustice, whatever your particular expertise is. So I am on the Sustainable New Canaan group and working with Robin Bates Mason and her group to promote or do different presentations that gain us some ability to get some points towards different levels of accreditation and also grant opportunities. So working with the New Canaan Library, we're in the process of organizing. The date has been picked. It's March 31st, 7 p.m. It's going to be a live webinar through the New Canaan Library. Chris Sullivan, the Executive Director of the Southwest Conservation District, will explain what a watershed is, how our actions can have impacts on water quality, and decisions we can make to protect water resources. So the program is a collaboration of the Town of New Canaan and Inland Wetlands, New Canaan Land Trust, and Planet New Canaan. So Chris Sullivan is the Executive Director of the Southwest Conservation District and has years of water expertise. And so just giving a shout out, letting you know that this program that is well in the works and is going to be coming online. I will send information, and actually it's already probably on the New Canaan Library. If you're interested in joining us that evening, just trying to get the word out best we can to anyone who might be interested in participating or listening to the presentation. Beth, do you want to add anything?
No, but you can register on the library.
Okay.
And I think it's probably for this group, it may start out at some of the basics, but in terms of water, wetlands, but I think it's really good that the community is getting exposed to this, as well as what we needed to protect their water resources. So yeah, it should be a great presentation.
And where's this going to be at the library? Is that?
I think we're still doing Zoom, as we all know.
Still
so it's a
doing what?
webinar. It's a webinar.
Oh, okay.
It's a Zoom webinar. But what's great about the library, because I've worked with them on many programs, is they have such a massive email list that they will get a lot of people to attend.
Yes.
Anything else on that program? Well, number 14 is a training opportunity by DEEP. As you all know, Kathleen passed around an email describing the reactivated online training program that DEEP has put together for municipal wetlands agencies and their staff. I know that Kathleen has finished it, the coursework, and have you gotten your certificate yet? Kathleen?
Oh yeah, I actually did this probably 2 years ago when they had the program initially connected with WestCon. And it happened to come out during COVID. So I was like, oh, this is perfect. I'll do this right from
Yeah.
home. So yeah, I got my certificate. I passed, so that's good. I really think it's a very, very, very good program for anyone who's either new on a commission or has been on a commission for a while. There is a lot of details. There's 8 modules. They anticipate that on average it should take you about 8 hours to continue to go through all the modules. I took probably 21 pages of notes when I was doing the training. So there's quizzes at each segment. I think it's very well done, and I would encourage everyone to, if they can put aside the time, chip away at those modules. You have 60 days to complete from beginning to end, and you too can receive a certificate.
Is it framed behind you there? No.
What's that?
Is the certificate framed behind you?
No, I don't.
Yeah.
I don't have it at home.
Oh, Angela, you want to contribute anything there? You want to say
Yeah,
anything?
so I started on this actually at the weekend, and I must say I was very impressed. It's very comprehensive, very detailed. And I thought, oh, they say it's going to take you 8 hours. I'll get it done in 4. Oh, no, I won't. I mean, it's not easy peasy. You really have to focus and concentrate. And there are a lot of details in there. I mean, I'm only on the middle of the second module currently, but the first module, very interesting, all about what the soil scientist does, which isn't something we go into in great detail in commission meetings. We just sort of look at the soil scientist report and it says this kind of soil, that kind of soil, the wetland is here. But, it's fascinating to see what they actually do, how they look at the soil, the different colors, the different strata. I ran into a technical difficulty in module 2, but that's probably because I'm using the wrong internet browser. So I would recommend everybody having a go.
Beth, you might want to consider this if you
Oh,
have
I'm
the
definitely,
time.
I definitely want to
okay.
do it. I thought I'd get to it before this meeting, but because Kathleen brought it to our attention, I think a month ago. But I think it'd be fantastic
Yeah.
because it will, help as you approach maybe it's more information than we know, but I think there's nothing wrong with that. But so.
No, I'm going to do it too.
Yeah.
I'm going to do it as quick as I can. But I would hope that we can get Anthony and maybe Fat Chance on that to do it, or Beth. I'd like to see them to do it. I'd like to see everybody do it, but I think it'd be good for everybody.
Can I just add, it's very different from the videos that I looked at when I joined the commission now, many years ago. There were some resources that Kathleen, sent to me, and that was all very helpful, but nothing like as detailed as this.
Yeah. This is much, much better modernized. I think it's very well done. And to your point, Angela, I think, we somewhat take the soil scientists for granted until you actually understand the credentials that they actually carry and what they have to do in order to actually get certified to be a soil scientist. It's pretty intense.
Yeah.
So I think that holds some weight when you're making decisions on applications and reviewing reports and getting a little more understanding of the science that's behind evaluating soils.
Absolutely. I mean, we have had cases where we've had dueling soil scientists. Do you remember the case I'm thinking about? And,
I do.
I mean, that was just perplexing for the rest of us. How is it they could disagree so radically?
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yes.
Otto Thiel's a soil scientist, isn't he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's his title. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah, we have quite a number of soil scientists that work in this area, and they're all quite good. All have a little different technique in their style of writing or the comprehensiveness of the reports. Some are more comprehensive than others. There isn't a necessary standard for how the reports are to be written by soil scientists. That's one thing maybe their industry could get a little more clearer on, but at the end of the day, having the soil scientists do the evaluation, that's our starting point, because that's what we need to know. Like, what are we
Yeah.
protecting? Where are these soils? So between the surveying and the soil scientist report, it's extremely helpful.
So when you register, does Deep send you some form or application or something, and then you fill it out and send it back, and materials come in the mail? Is that how it works, or no?
It's all online, Dan. It's seamless. It's really seamless.
Oh, so the
Angela's-
video and everything's online and everything then, huh?
Everything.
Yeah.
Yeah. No paper,
No
except your
paper, no?
certificate when it comes.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there is when you start to register, there's a person, you can always reach out to me, but there is a person connected with Yukon Clear who will facilitate any issues that you might have. So I know Angela's working with that person now, and hopefully we're going to get her situation sorted out. We have a new staff member in the planning and zoning department, and she's currently taking the training, and it's going very well. She's seamless, moving through the modules. So and also I wanted to offer, if anyone didn't want to use their home devices to take the training, we do have a rotating desk in our office, and you're welcome to just let me know if you wanted to come in and sit down and do a module at a time. You can join us in the office.
Thank you.
All right. Beth, do you have any comments, any questions, anything about anything? I want you to.
No, I'm really looking forward to that course. I think it's a real asset. I was just thinking that I think there may be other groups in New Canaan that might be interested in it as well. I would think some members of the land trust might want to take it.
Really?
Yeah.
I mean, it's free, I think, at the moment, right? It's free, I'm pretty sure, isn't it? Free.
Yeah, I mean, they
Yeah.
didn't ask for any payment or anything, so.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. If there's others you can send them my way, I can send them the information, because it's all useful information. There is even, you'll get into a module that talks about conducting a meeting. Pretty important information.
Well, that could be good for a lot of people.
Yeah,
That's right.
how to conduct a meeting, so there's definitely things they can take from it, for sure.
All right, anything else?
Yeah. Yes.
Yep. Penny?
Um,
Penny? Yep.
Yeah, I would think that to get anybody other than the four of us to a site visit on Friday, you would definitely have to reach them personally, because are they going to look at the town site to see when the site visit has been
Oh,
changed?
no, I'll be making I'll be making a few calls tomorrow, because it is short notice, and see if I can get confirmation, because I don't, want to post a meeting and then two people show
Right.
up. So
Right.
I will definitely reach out to everyone, and let you know if we're confirmed for that.
Yeah, and I have one more observation. Kathleen, for the last almost an hour, I've been trying to figure out what that patch is on your thing. And so finally I put my glasses on and I realized it's a tree, but without my glasses, it looks like a space alien without my glasses on. I mean,
It's
like
a
an
town
ET.
I'm wearing my New Canaan jersey. Town of New Canaan jersey.
Oh, that's a New Canaan emblem?
Oh yeah, that's the town of New Canaan emblem.
Well, looks like ET to me.
I see what you mean, though. My camera's maybe not too good on the monitor. That's all I have.
So
I have a
got.
question. I have a question about communication. I know we have to do everything on the town website, but I don't go check. It doesn't come into where all my other email comes. Is there any way you could text us when you send us an important email, like a meeting on a visit on Friday? Because it's like the old fashioned days where you used to write emails and then call people and tell them that you just sent them a text. I mean, you sent them an email to look for it, but I just, or maybe I should check every 2 days or something like that to know about, when the email has come in.
Yeah.
Are you talking about the town email, Beth?
I don't.
You don't have that?
I have it, but I just don't, it just doesn't, all my emails, I have like 4 different emails account come to my computer. So I know like within 5 minutes, I've gotten an email. Here, I have to go onto the site and actually actively look for an email, which I did last week to see what was coming up for tonight. But I don't go every day for sure. So I know that's, I mean, the fact that you have to call people, I feel badly about that. That's a lot of your time.
Right. The trickiness of what you're asking is if your cell phone is a private cell phone, it becomes subject to any FOIA requests,
Okay,
freedom of
yeah.
information.
Right,
So
okay.
the best I can do is, tell you, probably check if you know you were kind of thinking about something. I'll be sending out a communication, prior to Friday, obviously, to let you know whether or not we're confirmed. I don't mind making a call. Sometimes it is important that I need to make a call to make sure we do have a group
Right,
showing
right.
up. So I
Right.
certainly can call. That's not a problem. But texting is a communication that probably would be subject to
Yeah,
FOIA.
okay, I know. I guess I'm showing my naivete in terms
Okay,
of
you're
how
going to
the
get
town
that in the
stuff
training.
works.
But Beth, you can get your town email to come into your smartphone or your iPad as well as your laptop.
I was told I couldn't do that.
Well, I've got it on mine. Now, of course, I can't remember how I got it there. I'm sorry. But the town IT department can be quite helpful. I mean, you have to get them during office hours,
Oh.
but
They told me I couldn't do that.
Let me look into that and find out. 'Cause
Yeah.
That's the second time I've heard that. I have a town issued phone, so it's all town business, but
Right.
but
They said then it
let
goes
me.
onto a private computer and they can't monitor it. That was the first
no,
thing.
it's just they can monitor it. It's just where it's relayed to.
Oh,
So
well
I
then,
can look for town emails on my iPhone, my iPad.
oh, I mean, that's what I have. All my emails come into my
Yeah.
computer and iPad. But so if I can do that, that would make it a lot easier. I thought everyone had to actively go up into the cloud to check the Microsoft Office.
Boy, I agree with Beth, because you have to take the initiative instead of
Right.
getting an alert that there's an email from, waiting, you have to go into the site. So that'd be a boon to me.
Yeah.
I can try to find out some more information on that and see if that's doable. And get back to you on that.
Great.
Okay.
I mean, look, I just put, I don't know if you can see, you probably can't see that, but I've just got all my emails there, including
Right,
the town.
right.
So
I know how to set that up. I just didn't think it was kosher for some reason, based on what the IT person told me when I got my email address. Anyway,
Oh.
I don't want to take your time, but that'd be great to figure it out, because I'd like to work that way too, Angela.
Yeah, it'd be a lot easier for everyone. Yeah.
All right, anything else? All right, then we'll see you on March 21st, all right?
okay,
Or March 4th for some of us, right?
yes, March
Right.
4th.
I
Okay,
think. All right,
Thanks.
thank
Bye now.
you.
Bye.
Thanks, everybody.
All
Thank
right,
you, everybody.
bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.